Hi everyone. In today's Excel lesson we are going to discuss some more functions and they get just a little bit more complicated, but not very complicated. I'm going to start with a function that will allow you to insert a date and a time. So if you want to insert the current date into a cell, the function is equals today, and you immediately open and close your brackets and press enter, and it will put in today's date. Now that means, grade 10s, that every time you open the spreadsheet, the current date will be inserted automatically. If we use the function now, it puts in today's date and today's time. So it's quite easy to remember those. Today puts in the date, and now we'll put in the date and the time for you. Now, there's another function, and the function that I'm going to talk about next is RAND. What RAND does, first of all, RAND stands for random, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with the South African currency. It puts in a random number between 0 and 1. So if I type in the word RAND, and I open and close my brackets, it gives me a random number between 0 and 1. I can type it in again, and it should give me a completely different number. So there will be a whole range of numbers between 0 and 1 that you can use when you type in the word RAND. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about before I get to the complicated stuff is round. Now, round, you can either use a function round that will round your decimal places to the nearest whole number, or you can format your cells to however many decimal places like we've done before. I'm going to do it both ways, and I'm going to use cell I3 in both. So the first time I'm going to do it is I am going to format this cell to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to right click. Remember, we go to format cells. We are going to choose number, and I'm going to choose, let's just choose 3 decimals for today, and I'm going to say OK, and it's become 0.182. Okay, now you have formatted that number to a certain amount of decimals. Now we're going to use the round function to format the number. So I'm going to type in equals round. I'm going to click on that cell, and I want to round it to 0 decimal places. So I put in a comma and I type in a 0 and I close my brackets. So if you have a look at what I'm doing, I am rounding I3, which is this cell, to 0 decimal places. And I'm going to press enter, and it gives me 0 because we've got a 0.16. So if I round it, it's going to give me absolutely 0. If I had to say round up, and to round it up to the nearest whole number, and I press enter, it'll give me 0.3. So it's rounded 0.23 to 0.3. Okay, now we're going to get onto the more complicated stuff, and that is the COUNTIF function. Now what the COUNTIF function does is it counts the number of items in a specific range. It can be text, it can be numbers, and if you are using numbers, you can use the various operators, so greater than, less than, not equal to, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, and I'm going to try and use them all for you today. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a COUNTIF with a text function. And what we're going to do is we are going to count how many people have the name Emma. So I'm going to click, I want my answer to appear in cell I3, so I've clicked in I3. I'm typing in the equals because we want it to do a function, and I'm typing in COUNTIF. Okay, now I've got to type in my range, which is B3 to B113. So I've told the computer where to go and look for my criteria. Okay, so I've typed in the range where I'm going to go and look for the criteria. Now I have to type in my criteria, and in this case it's Emma, because we are looking for how many people have the name Emma. So I'm going to type in the word Emma, and when you type text in a criteria, you must always remember to put the text in inverted commas. So I'm going to type in the word Emma in inverted commas. I'm closing my brackets. I'm just going to go over it with you again. We are using COUNTIF, and we are looking for the word Emma in this particular range. And if I press enter, it tells me that there are 3 Emmas in that range. So 3 people have the name Emma. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now use the operators, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to. And just to give you an idea, I'm going to start with greater than. So I'm going to say equals COUNTIF. And we are going to look in the C column. So I'm going to put in my range. And I want to look for all numbers that are bigger than, let's say, 50. So again, I have to type my criteria in inverted commas. So greater than 50. I'm going to close my brackets. So I'll just again tell you what we are doing. We are looking for all the numbers that are greater than 50 in the range C3 to C113. And I'm going to press enter. And it tells me that there are 14 of them. So it works similarly with less than. I'm going to look for all numbers in the same range that are less than 25. I'm using the less than sign. 25. Again, I've typed it in inverted commas. And there are 15. Now, this operator means not equal to. So, and it's going to bring up a lot because I'm going to ask the computer to look for all numbers that are not equal to 50 in the in column E. So not equal to 50. And there are 110 numbers not equal to 50. Okay, when I use the less than and equal to or the greater than or equal to, I'm including the number in my answer. So if I had to say I want to find all the numbers, how many numbers are 80 or over, it is going to include the number 80 in my answer. So I'm going to say equals COUNTIF. I'll use the F range this time. F3 to F113 is greater than or equal to 80. I'm going to get 13. And then this time I'll do the less than. I'm going to use the D range for a change. Let's see, it's less than or equal to 30. I get 99. So there are 99 numbers less than or equal to 30. And that brings us to the end of our lesson on functions. Until I see you next time.